Hello, hello. This is Cassandra Williamson and our weekend show. Do we have a show today, folks? We got a lot to talk about. Actually, it's just one major topic. And yesterday the VA and Trump rescinded Directive 1341. 1341 is the policy that basically says that that transgender veterans, intersex veterans, and non-binary or gender fluid people, whatever, are treated with respect and dignity. And I'm going to put a copy of it up on the screen just so you can kind of look at it for a minute. I got a lot to say about this, so let's jump into the screen. Let me go ahead and share the screen window. Hold on a second. Here we go. Share. All right. So right now you're looking at 1341-3. Okay. So there were a couple of different versions of this over time, but yesterday it was rescinded. And this thing basically lays out how the Veterans Administration is supposed to treat people who identify as transgender, non-binary, intersex, stuff like that. Anyone, really. Any veteran is supposed to be treated, and all veterans are supposed to be treated with respect and dignity, right? We do know that there are health disparities in the treatment between regular, just ordinary veterans, all the other people out there, and our LGBT veterans. We know there's a lot of disparity. There's differences in treatment. And they've been fighting that for years, trying to make sure that veterans were treated with dignity and respect across the whole board of things. So yesterday, though, the new Secretary of the VA and Trump administration, they rescinded this policy, 1341-3 in this particular case, but it's all of the versions of it. There's nothing left of it in there in the VA health system right now that has been rescinded. Yes, it's going to cause some serious problems with some veterans, lots of our trans veterans. Okay, there are some out there who are in dangerous places. I know some all across this country who rely on being treated with respect and dignity at the VA. Okay, this policy has now been rescinded. So what are we going to do moving forward? The question is, what do you do now that this policy has been rescinded? I don't know. And I will tell you this, I do not know and have not yet heard how that will impact HRT, the hormone replacement therapy that veterans receive. I don't know how it's going to impact dealings with the VA, particularly with those psychologists and those medical professionals who are basing their decisions on medically appropriate care. But the VA can't talk about trans people. They've removed them. It's just LGB now. There's nothing left with the trans people or the intersex or the queer or anything like that. All that's gone. Okay. So, and all that's left is LGB for now. They will try to get rid of all of it. But anyway, so this policy, this directive, VHA Directive 1341, has been rescinded at the VA. I do not yet know how it will impact our care in terms of hormones, in terms of getting prosthetics. Some people are still getting prosthetics and stuff through the VA, getting the different items and different parts that they need to feel right about themselves at the VA. I know that there's a lot of this going on out there that the VA had been taken care of. So I don't know the status of all that just yet. No word has been mentioned about it yet. But you can guarantee that once they remove this policy, now the policy also, by the way, let me back up and just say something. This policy is the one that also created the executive director's position for LGBTQ plus health. I don't know if they've removed that office or if it's just LGB now. They can't take care of trans people, trans veterans. So yeah, it really is just disgusting that they have done this, and very harmful, okay? Very harmful indeed that they have shut down this thing that takes care of our trans veterans. Now, here's the challenge. They've done it. Now what? So what are you supposed to do? One is, and I'm not even going to worry about how you got here, how we got there. It doesn't really matter, because this is an ideological thing on their side. This is an ideological thing. They don't like trans people. They don't want them around. They don't want to see them. They don't want to hear from them. They don't want to even acknowledge we exist, okay? But we're here. So what now? What do we do now? If we go into the VA for care, you're not going to be able to go up to that front desk and then somebody goes, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so," and you're presenting as female. You walk in there and you're not going to be able to go jump all over them and tell them, You're wrong. It's all this now. I'm female and all that kind of stuff, and identify as a woman. And I demand you use my correct pronouns. Well, you're going to have to be a little bit stronger than that. Put your armor on and stand there and go, yes, ma'am, or sir, just reverse it kind of thing. Do like Sarah McBride did in Congress with the chairman of that committee. The chairman, she said, yes, ma'am, basically. But anyway, so we're going to have to find ways to adapt because that's what we're good at, right? We are good at overcoming and fighting through no matter what is handed to us. This is a lemon. This is now time to add a little bit of sugar and water to this and put on your good selves. Put on the side of you that is the best person possible. Be a good human being, basically, is what this all amounts to, folks. The policy's gone. The policy is gone. Some say it should have been gone a long time ago. I understand that. I get it. I do get that. Because, and I'll tell you why they say that. Because they say that it was used as a bludgeon, as a sledgehammer to hit people over the head when they didn't do things the exact right way, didn't say the right things, or didn't use the right pronouns, or whatever. It's been used as a weapon against all these people. And what it's done is it's made them all mad at us. And every time we've used that way, it's been used in that way to hammer people into doing things that we want, when in fact, they may not have wanted to do it to start out with, but, it was the policy, so we kind of force them to do it. No, that's not, we can't move forward when you do stuff like that, folks. You've got to be able to stand there and say, yeah, I'm good. I know who I am. I don't need your affirmation. I don't need your support. I don't need anything from you. I know who I am. It's time that we kick ourselves in the rear end and get up off of our butts and say, we can handle this. We can do it. We've got this covered. Don't let them removing this policy be something that causes you to become suicidal. Some of you will. Some of you will take this as an open invitation to go out and kill yourself or hurt somebody else. And if you do that, shame on you. If you go out there and try to make a big stink about it and go back in and let me see, put on that big old armor from the past. Like for me, if I put on the old Marine Corps thing and go back out there and I go, yeah, Semper Fi. No, I'm 66, almost 66 years old. I'm not going to be the one going around doing stuff like that. But I don't want you to either. Don't go, you can get mad and upset about all of this. Absolutely, you can, do that, do it, get over it, and then move on. Now you got to figure out a way to deal with the system that you're left with. And the system you're left with is one that doesn't really care about you all that much. Ideologically speaking, they're on the other side of that. And now we are having to put on the armor that we know how to use, which is, for those of us who have been through all of this stuff together, all of it, complete, all of it, everything, we know how to deal with adversity. We know how to deal with that. We know how to gain strength from that. Every time someone challenges us, we get stronger from it. And so we need to make sure that what we're doing is presenting our best possible selves whenever we go out there and talk to people. Let them say whatever the H they want to say. It doesn't matter, because that's not who you are, right? Or are you? You have a choice to make here now. And that choice is, are you going to take the path forward, or are you going to go regress into something that was worse before in the past? Now, I will say this too. Since we do not yet know what they're going to do with the hormones and all that kind of stuff, or any kind of prosthetic support or clothing support or anything like that for veterans who are entitled to that kind of care. We don't know what they're going to do with those things yet. We don't know how they're going to approach it. You need to get ready, because they are likely to do it, to cancel all those kind of programs for trans people. There's nothing in their eyes, there's nothing special about being a trans person. And there's not really, is there? I mean, we're just human beings like anybody else, right? So they're going to take away all that care. No matter how many pills they give for Viagra, they're going to take away trans care because that's their ideological domain now. And we aren't in control, folks. So be strong, be resilient, kick down the door and move forward because this policy is gone. 1341 is now history, basically. And yeah, there'll be lawsuits over it, I'm sure, as usual. But the end result's going to be that we are the ones who have to take the step forward now. Be prepared for what is likely to come, which is removal of HRT, removal of prosthetic support, removal of any kind of care like that, removal of the ability to be able to go into the VA and get into inpatient care that matches your gender identity, because they're not going to do it. They're going to send you home. They're going to tell you that you have to go home and you can't be in that group. And that's where we are. So 1341 is gone. Now, grab yourself by your bootstraps, pick yourself up and move forward. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to be a good person when you walk into that VA? Are you going to go in there and chew heads off every time they say something wrong to you anymore? No, don't do it. Are you going to get all flustered and upset because you're going out here and telling people that I demand they tell me this and I demand that they give me that and do this and all this kind of stuff? Well, look, it's not happening anymore, folks. 1341 is gone and you've got to move forward. Now, if you're feeling suicidal or anything like that, call the helpline. I think it's still operational, the 988 number. Call that. But I'm going to tell you something. Pull yourself up and get moving. Be a good person when you go out into the community, when you go to the VA, when you do anything like that. Be a decent human being and show respect to them. Don't let them get under your skin. We know better than that, right? So that's my little spiel on 1341, folks. And have a great weekend.